to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. This is episode 35 for October 3rd, 2012. I'm Lesley, your host, and I want to say hi. Welcome, everybody. We made it through another week. So it's Wednesday. I don't have to work on Friday. Monday is a holiday. I have some fun stuff planned for this weekend. So I am really looking forward to the end of the week this week because it has been an interesting one. So first of all, if you want to check out the show notes and keep up with me on just a general basis, you can find me at myordinaryjourney.com. That's my blog. It's all one word right there. And like I said, there you'll be able to find the show notes, and there I try to have links to the dyers and vendors that I like to use and highlight, charities that I like to sponsor, links to projects that you guys do that I find interesting. So feel free to check that out. It's also where you've got to vote. So if you're going to vote in the knitting game, you're already going to My Ordinary Journey. So that's great. Okay, so I do want to say welcome to our newest members of our Ravelry group. And that is Crochet Chick 31, and her name is Tasha. And Knits Much is Jackie. So, ladies, hi. And thank you for joining. Now, we have 112 members. When we hit 150, I'm going to give something away. I don't know what it is, but somebody's going to win something because I want to say thank you for you guys joining in each week. Tuning in, joining in, having fun. That's all what it's about. So birthdays, we have a few again this week. This is a great time of year. I think a lot of people are born in the fall, and it's so nice and fun. My niece's birthday was on Monday. She turned 16. So we're going to have a happy, sweet 16 birthday party for her in a few weeks. She's got homecoming this weekend, and then my daughter's got homecoming, and then I've got Fall Fiber Festival and other charity knit-alongs and all sorts of stuff going on the next 2 weeks. So it's a bunch of stuff going on. So happy birthday to, we have Nitty78, and that's Pamela. And then Couturim is Anais. I really am saying your Rav name and your name horribly wrong, I am sure. I am sorry for that. But I do want to wish you a happy birthday. And then Muffin Me No Me. And that's Jocelyn. I'm sorry. I get the muffin, I get the me, and it's GNME. So no me. But what the heck. Moving right on. I also want to say thank you to Carrie, also known as Knit Pearl Girl. She made my week on Friday, last Friday, so I was very happy and very appreciative. So I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you and to let everybody know, in case you haven't watched Carrie's podcast, videocast in the past, she took a bit of a hiatus over the summer, and she's going to start her new seasons starting on Friday, and I'm very excited, and I know she's very excited to record again, so that's going to be lots and lots of fun to watch her again. So it's like visiting an old friend. You know, all the new sitcoms and dramas start here in the fall. Why not podcasts? I like the idea of having seasons. It's kind of, everybody does their thing each week. We don't usually take a break, and it's kind of neat when somebody comes back after being gone. You know, you get that excitement back again, and I feel it. Alrighty, I have a cat stuck in the room. If y'all will give me one moment, I'll see if I can wrangle her out, so I will be right back. And I'm back. I had to wrangle a kitty. So last thing before we get to the knitting game is my question of the week. And this question is a little different because I don't really have an answer to give because I really want to get your guys' opinion on something. So in the past, I've been a member of the Painted Tiger Fiber Club and the Spunky Eclectic Fiber Club. And I've also had a chance to participate in one of the rounds of the Tri-Dye Fiber Club. So I'm looking at getting into a new club just to experience other fiber and preparation techniques and dyeing techniques and things like that. I would love to be in the Into the World Fiber Club, but she's not taking any new members right now, so I have to wait. And it's grueling because I have the opportunity to see the fiber in real life and drool over it, but it's not mine. So I feel sad because it's beautiful. If you haven't seen Into the World's fiber in person, you are really missing out. I can't wait. I'm gonna go camp out at their booth at Maryland Sheep and Wool next year. Anyway, so if there are other fiber clubs that you all know of, I'd really, really love to get the information about those just to see what's out there. I know there's more out there than I know of, so please share. I'd really appreciate it. So there's a thread on the message board just called Fiber Club. Just drop your answers in there. It would be great. Alrighty, so we are on to the knitting game, and we just finished round 2, and we're going into round 3. So for round 2, the contenders were the glass house hat and the pebbled beanie. So when I closed the voting this afternoon, the winner had 58% of the vote, so a decent majority. And I am pleased to announce that the winner is the glass house hat. Okay, so let's see. The glass house hat is the winner from round 2, so that will carry over onto round 3. So the round 3 challenger that I have chosen for this round is the topiary beanie. Okay, and you all might notice a little theme here. So glass house reminds me of like one of the nurseries. What is it called? I had it earlier. Anyway, glass house. Anyway, so the glass house where you have the growing stuff. Oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. Anyway, the topiary. It's all about growing stuff, okay? So we've got the topiary beanie up against the glass house. So that should be interesting. So some of the particulars of these two hats. The topiary beanie is actually done in a sport weight yarn, which is something different. I don't think I've done anything in a sport weight. I do mostly fingering, and I have done some bulky. So if the topiary beanie were to continue through the end of the knitting game, it would be sport weight. So that would be something new. It is knit on either US 5 or US 3, and it takes about 360 yards. Which the glass house hat is a fingering weight yarn. It's knit on size 2s or size 4s, and the yardage, it's about 318 yards. So you can already tell there it's a smaller yarn and it's a shorter yardage, so it's knit on smaller needles, so it's going to be a smaller hat. My arm is a little messed up today, my shoulder, so I can't really my hat. So, yeah, the topiary beanie is going to be a little bit bigger. Not quite a beret, but it's just going to be a little looser. It's not going to be quite as tight. So, voting for round 3 of the knitting game will close on October 10th, 2012 at some point in the afternoon between 3 and 6. Alright, some updates. I yet again have not touched the Sensual Knits Sayuri sweater. And I've come to the realization, I had an epiphany this week, that I can have as many projects as I want on the needles. But at any one given time, only 2 are being worked on. And that's just the way it is. And I've been having some fun with some other projects. My goal is to not cast anything new on until I get at least 2 finished. Possibly 3, which is exciting. So, Sayuri sweater, I haven't done anything on. But I have made, you could call it some progress on the Easy 100th Anniversary Camping Half Circle shawl that won the last knitting game. I ordered some yarn, and this is in the stash expansions on the knitting portion of the other stuff. But I picked up this gray, I hope it comes out looking gray, but it is Knit Picks Gloss in this light gray color. And what I did is I wanted a deep red color, and I was reading some notes from some dyers that do this, and I noticed a theme that if you want darker colors, and if you're using things like Kool-Aid, which I am, because I want everything to be able to be in the house, so I use the Kool-Aid, and I do stuff on the stove that we cook on, so no acid dyes in the house. It's just the way it's got to be. So it's Kool-Aid, which if you want a darker color, if you start with a darker base, you're going to achieve better results. So this gray, I pulled off a sample the other night, and I dyed it using Kool-Aid, and this is the color that I came out with. I hope it shows up very well. It is almost a maroony red. In the light, it looks a little bit more orange than I'd want, and it's a little brighter than I was hoping for. So I placed another order with Knit Picks, and I got the darker gray, and I'm going to use the same ratio of Kool-Aid, which was 2:1 cherry to orange. I'm going to roll off a little bit of a sample of that to see how it comes out, and I'm going to dye that up and see how it looks and make any adjustments as necessary. Now, one thing that I did notice that I don't know how to fix it necessarily. I don't know if it's because I'm new at dyeing my own yarn. But if you can see right here, in between my fingers, there is a lighter spot where the tie to keep the yarn from getting tangled was. So if you think of when you're tie-dyeing shirts at summer camp and you twist and you put the rubber band, that rubber band effect that keeps the dye off of the shirt, it's kind of what happened there, and it's a little bit lighter, and you can tell, and that's going to really bother me. I know that it'll only end up every stitch, you know, just about 1 stitch every however often, how big I make the loop. Ooh, I'm sorry. But something I want to avoid. So I guess when I do my next test batch, I'm going to have to tie things a little bit looser. So that's my plan. So I'm hoping that the yarn will be here maybe on Friday, and I think on Sunday I'll run another test batch. Now, how I'm planning on doing the actual dyeing. When I did this little bit, what I ended up doing is I had a steamer basket and a mason jar, and I have a pot that I use for dyeing things and heating up water and soaking in the vinegar. So what I did is I took the pot of water and I filled it, well, I guess I took a mason jar. I put in the 2 packets of cherry and the 1 packet of red, and I filled it about half full with about a 3:1 ratio of vinegar to water. and I filled the mason jar halfway full. And then I took this little bump of fiber yarn and I put it into the mason jar. It had already soaked in some vinegar water prior, so it was nice and saturated. It soaked for about a half hour before I put it in to the mason jar. So to do the heat to set the dye, what I did is I had my big enamel pot on the stove with boiling water, and I had a steamer basket in the bottom, and I put the mason jar on the steamer basket to keep the bottom of the mason jar from resting on the bottom of the pot, so it wouldn't like explode when it was boiling. So I got the water to boil and kind of simmer in the pot, and that heated the water in the mason jar, not to the point where it was boiling, but to the point where it got hot enough, and I think the magic number is about 185 degrees, where it starts to set into the yarn. So I let it go on the stove for about 45 minutes, and this is what came out. Now when I actually go to do the yarn itself, when I actually dye it, I'm going to pick up a crock pot, and I think I'm just going to dye it in kind of like a kettle dye. I'm going to dye it in the crock pot. So that is the plan for that. So hopefully either I'll have all the yarn dyed or at least a good sample of yarn dyed up for next week. So that's my little mini. I don't know how much, I have no idea what the yardage is on this, but it's pretty. So I might dye this up as a blue or something and just play with this, because this is like a little test ball. This is probably only about 50 yards right here, so it's not that much. Okay, so that was enough of the knitting. That was a lot. So don't forget to vote for either the topiary hat or the glasshote hat, and that closes on 10 October. So moving on to the other stuff. I already talked about the Knit Picks gloss that I picked up for my dyeing. So that was the only stash expansion this week for knitting. I'm not going to show you the color affection because it's kind of big and fiddly, and since my arm, I can't lift it up because I hurt my shoulder today. I did finish another repeat of the short rows, and I have one more repeat of the short rows before I start the border edging. So I only work on that on like Sunday morning on the weekends, so I think I'm making excellent progress. I'm having loads of fun with this. So again, I'm using Knit Picks palette in Autumn Heather, Marine Heather, and Aurora Heather on US size 6 needles. They're 40-inch circular Chowgu red lace. Alright, so my other knitting project that I am making some significant progress on, I am so happy to report, are my Steeler socks. So everybody knows last week I had the one finished. Well, not only did I finish the second sock today, it's all tangled up here. So I finished and I bound off the second sock. I was able to take out the waste yarn and start my afterthought heel, which is really goofy here on the back. It's just the way it worked out. I have one little strip of yellow. So yeah, this one, the where the afterthought heel, where the waste yarn had to go, it went right before the end of the yellow stripe. So I have one little yellow stripe across the back, if you can see that. So I don't know, it'll be a little goofy. I'm sure she won't care. You know, it's the thought that counts on this one. So I've started to do the decreases already. I'm hoping to have the heel on this one possibly done tomorrow, and then have these little puppies done for next week. And since they're a Christmas present, I can put them away and they'll be ready to go. I'll just weave in the ends. I can show you guys, and I don't have to give them away before I get to show you. So good times all around. So I'm happy. I'm very close. So I'm going to get the Steeler socks done. I'm going to get the color affection done. So the only other two things I have on the needles are the Sayuri sweater and the 10 and 2010 shawl, which that one I'm pretty close to being done on, sort of kind of as well. So I'm thinking what I'll probably do is, while I'm in the process of waiting for the yarn and the dyeing to be done for the camping shawl, I'll wrap up the 10 and 2010 shawl, and all I'll have left then is to work on the knitting game stuff. So on to spinning. So technically this is still on the bobbin because I haven't taken it off, but I did finish spinning and plying my 8 ounces of Gnome Acres Falkland in the Loki colorway, and it's on my big bobbin. This is my bulky bobbin that goes with my bulky flyer. To get 8 ounces of fiber, I couldn't do it. This is one of my standard bobbins. I can't lift up my shoulder. One of my standard bobbins and one of my big one. So I have a 2-ply on this, and it is a fingering to a sport weight, which is exactly where I wanted it to be. So I'm looking for patterns right now for fingerless mitts, because that's what my daughter really wants, and I haven't really found what I wanted yet, so I might just do my own. We'll see if a foray into design is my next adventure. And then here is, this is a Navajo chain plied, and this was what was left over on one of the bobbins. And my Navajo plying in the past has not been great. I will be the first to admit that. I do it too loose. So the chain parts are open, so there's gaps, and it looks really kind of not so good. So I intentionally felt, and it looks almost like I overspun this when I applied it, overapplied it, but I think in the end it's going to come out really well. I don't know what the yardage is, but I'm really anxious to do another Navajo ply this way, just so I can see how it comes out. So I have no idea how many yards this is. This is a big honking thing of yarn. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, I usually get on a 2-ply out of a 4-ounce braid, I get about 600 yards. So out of 8 ounces as a 2-ply, I couldn't imagine that there'd be 1,200 yards on here. But you never know. I haven't actually measured it, so when I take it off of the bobbin here, it'll be interesting. I'll have to show you next week when I have it actually in the hank. So I did have one stash enhancement expansion this week, and it is from the Painted Tiger. And Brooke's inspiration this month was paint can lids. And as always, I think she did an outstanding job. And this is some really outstanding fiber. This is silver alpaca and tussa silk. And it is, oh, it gives me chills. It is the softest, oh, if I can make a pillow out of this. It is the softest fiber I think I have ever felt. I mean, this is some really beautiful stuff. And what's really good about it is I already have a 2-ply alpaca silk from Gail's Art that is so close to this. I could do some really beautiful color work with this. Now, it's only a 2-ounce. This is 2 ounces. About 2 ounces, she says. So it's called Passage to India, and it is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love these colors. I love this little pop of pink down here at the end with this like really aqua green. If y'all are not in Brooke's club, I can't say enough good stuff. She's always on time. Her customer service is absolutely impeccable. Her colors are amazing, and I love how she has a little note with each shipment talking and showing you what her inspiration was for that month, and you can see, you know, where it comes from, and it's just amazing. So if you have an opportunity to do a club, check her out, because it really amazing stuff. So that's it with the knitting and the spinning. I have worked on some sewing this week. I did a couple more bags up this weekend, playing around with some different designs and techniques and things like that. So that was fun. All right, so on to some big events. So this is a big fiber weekend for me. Friday night from 5 to 9 is First Friday at the Liberty Town Art Workshop, where the Fredericksburg Spinners and Weavers Guild have their guild space, their studio space. But we are the featured, I guess, presentation for the month. So we have our sculpture art installation at the workshop, and that opens Friday night. There will be alpacas on display from 5 to 8. There is yarn bombings taking place all over downtown Fredericksburg. It is going to be a blast. I hope to take my video camera and get some video for everybody so you can kind of see how everything goes. So that'll be really, really great and a lot of fun, I think. And then on Saturday is going to be awesome. Saturday and Sunday is the Virginia Fall Fiber Festival in Montpelier, Virginia, and that's located near Orange, Virginia. Montpelier, if you don't know, is James Madison's home, and it is actually modeled after Thomas Jefferson's home. So it is really some outstanding architecture, and the scenery is amazing. And even though it's a smaller festival, it really is done very well. There's sheepdog trials and lots of good food. I've talked about it before, but anyway, what's really neat for me this time is I'm going to actually be a volunteer. Last year I had only been spinning for a week, and I went and just absolutely fell in love with everything there, fiber. And I can't believe a year later I'm actually going, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to spin on a spinning wheel. So when people walk by, they can watch me spin and absolutely be amazed and lulled and be in that tranquil place that I always go when I watch people spin. So I'm really, really excited about doing this this weekend. So if you are at the Virginia Fall Fiber Festival on Saturday, I will have my button on. I will also have my Fredericksburg Spinners and Weavers Guild apron on. So please find me, stop and say hi, and I will be sure to wave and say hello and chit chat and talk and have a really great time. So please, if you can come out, do. We're going to be having so much fun. The weather is supposed to be okay. I hear maybe some storms in the afternoon, but it'll be cooler. It's not going to be the summer crap. I don't know who ordered summer in October, but I am not down with it. And if you read my blog, you read the breakup letter to summer. If you haven't, I think it's hilarious, if I do say so myself. So anyway, that is all I have for this week. And don't forget to vote again October 10th from 3 to 6 whenever I get home to record. So I hope to have a lot of footage from the festival on Saturday and from first night on Friday to share with everybody. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So if you can't be there, hopefully I can bring a little bit of the community to you. So have a great week, everybody, and hopefully my shoulder's better. So it's not right now, so I'll have to wave with my other hand. Bye. Scissors.